You are listening to a podcast by Last Minute Crack with your host, me, Christina Hamilton. Last Minute Crack is your one-stop shop for all things arts and culture in Dublin City. For more information, check out our website at lastminutecrack.com or visit us on Instagram at lastminutecrack. A special thank you to Thibaut Kemere for his help with the sound and for the music on this intro. Another thank you goes out to Zoe Spillane for her help managing the page. And now for your episode. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and all of our friends. How are you? Welcome back to Last Minute Chats with me, your host, Christina. And straighten your back. I want me cobblestones back. We got Kenan Flannery in the.
Don't stop.
Sorry. I'm actually not 100% sure of the next line. In the air of the long morning.
But you're fine because I don't know the next line either.
But we got Kenan Flannery up in here today, ladies and gentlemen. Kenan, how are you keeping?
I'm still alive.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Beating the odds.
Just about.
I'm running out of money. Oh, stop. How are you? You're keeping well. Tell our friends out there who may not know you who you are.
Hey, I'm Kenan Flannery. I'm a folk singer from Dublin, from Cabra especially.
Oh, I love Cabra.
Rep Cabra, yeah. And yeah, I sing sad and less sad folk songs and I have a good time and we dance and sing. And yeah, I'm really bad at selling myself, but yeah, I'm just trying to be normal. And you're
trying.
I told you when we came in, I feel strange today, don't I?
Yeah, and I'm getting the energy. But we're here and we're it's just you and me and this Christmas tree. Everybody, it's the Christmas finale. It's our finale, actually. Oh my God, we should be way more hyped about this. This is the finale of season 2, Last Minute Chats. And I was really excited to have you in the office, I wanted to say, but it is our living room. Because I've been friends with you for a very long time. And you, I remember when I met you for the first time. Do you remember when you met me?
It was it in the International?
Maybe, but I think it was when we were in Pirate Studios ages ago.
Oh, during the COVID breaks? Yeah, with Daly and stuff.
With Daly and Shauna. And I remember that was the first time I met you and I was like, who's this nut? And I was like, this lad is just a messer. He's just a good crack though, do you know what I mean? But like I didn't, and then you took out your guitar and you started singing. I was like, fucking hell. This man is fucking amazing.
Thank
so
you.
where did it all start for you? All the music?
Well, like ever since I was a kid, my mum and dad always kind of pushed me into music. Like no one in the family's musical. But I think they just loved music. So when I was younger, I played was it a trad band in school, played tin whistle, as most of us do here.
Yeah.
And then I went on and played flute. Played classical flute in a marching band for a while. I had a drum kit, played violin that I was terrible at. They always kind of pushed me into stuff, you know what I mean? Just, as you do with a kid. And I think when fourth year came around, I picked up the guitar because I had nothing else to do. And it was a little Spanish guitar and the bottom of it, the wood was cracked and bent. And I just kind of started messing with it. My dad was I think it was November. And my dad was if you November, December. And he was if you keep going to your birthday, I'll get you a guitar. So I kind of kept at it. And he picked me up a guitar. And I've just been kind of tipping away ever since.
That's brilliant. I love that. That's such a good story. And it's also a brilliant feat of parenting, I think. Because how many of those times where your parents say, if you keep that up, I'll get you something. And then you forget or you fall out of it or anything. But you committed to the bit.
Well, I probably did it in other things that I never picked. I remember when I used to do GAA.
Oh, were you a gal at?
Yeah, I was a gal. Well, I was more into Hurley. I was good. I was actually good at Hurley.
I say you'd be very good. Yeah,
I was good at it.
You look fast.
Thank you. Thank you. That's a nice compliment. That's what the guards think. So yeah, but anywhere the ball would be on the pitch, I'd be on the other side chatting to the person I was marking.
Yeah.
So I was hopeless at it. You know what I mean? But then music, I just really liked music, and guitar was just the thing I picked up. And I think a big part of it was I really liked writing. I've always liked short stories and writing. And I think guitar was that like avenue that I got to kind of, because I was writing poetry and stuff anyway. And it was kind of, I wrote raps. That was where I actually started music. I wrote rap songs.
Who are you rapping?
Well, you'll never hear them. That's that. I will take them to my grave.
Yeah, no, you can't be doing that.
Nah, that's a thing.
We'll
Suspense.
negotiate. We'll negotiate. We'll negotiate after this. But so you started doing that, and then so when was your first like performance?
I think I did like a Christmas concert in school.
Yeah.
I sang, that Labyrinth song. Oh, it was not the film Labyrinth.
The music producer.
You're beautiful tonight. You know that one? Make me see beneath your beautiful.
If you say.
Yeah, that one.
Me.
Yeah. So I sang that.
Take it off now, girl. Take it off now, girl. I want to see you shine. Yeah. Oh, let me. Oh.
Oh, yeah. To the window, to the wall. That was sick, dude. Oh, my God.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyway.
If anyone's a DJ out there, remix that.
Remix that. I'll give you full cred.
Hell yeah.
New intro to our podcast.
Yeah.
So you went and you sang that at your school?
Yeah, I wore a little like fedora and a waistcoat.
Fedora and a waistcoat.
Yeah, and I remember I sang, and I was hopeless at singing. But my teacher was like, you can practice. And I practiced. And I got out, and I just enjoyed it. And then, I just started writing and stuff, and kind of tipped away from there.
Yeah. It's a long way from Labyrinth is country. So what got you nestled into that kind of, I guess, country folk genre?
Well, I was raised on like reggae, ska music, and like Irish music. And but I always loved Irish music. And then I think I found different bands when I was younger. You know, when you find bands yourself, Kerrang. Do you remember watching Kerrang? Yeah.
Throwback.
I found Green Day. I loved Green Day. And I used to watch them a lot. And then I think it was Bob Dylan. No, I don't know how. I think I may have been on YouTube back in the day, and I just came across something. But I started listening to Bob Dylan, and then I kind of went from there. And I got into storytelling and writing. And then I was in a youth club. They did like a writing group. And I wrote a song in there and stuff. And it was very, like when I started playing guitar, the only acoustic guitar stuff I really understood was like Bob Dylan. That was the one, when I heard acoustic guitar, I thought like Finger Passenger as well. That kind of like indie stuff. So that's where it started. And then, I don't know, I think over time I just kind of started finding other people. And obviously people in the music scene here, you kind of learn different stuff. Like I think I learned like about Leonard Cohen through a couple of heads here, which is a weird thing to say, because people are like, how do you not know who Leonard Cohen is? But when I was younger, I just didn't know. And then I think, over time you start kind of grouping these sounds together, and I really liked storytelling, which is very folk and very country. And and then I kind of came across people like Townes Van Zandt, Blaze Foley, John Prine, and that's where I was really like, yeah, this is the shit. Like this stuff makes me cry, makes me feel something, which is really the only thing I want to do. It's not about like, I don't have a stage presence. I'm a little bit special in my own brain, but I'm a strange lad. I'm just kind of a bit out there, and it's not I can't put a filter on it. I can't like, hey everybody, I'm Kenan Flannery. That's Kenan with a K and Flannery with two N's. Like I can't.
Are you sure you can't be that? Because that was really
that was actually my old persona. Kenan Gunslinger Flannery, they called me. Yeah. But I don't know. I liked performing, and I liked making people smile and laugh and making a room of people. It didn't matter what they believed in, Didn't matter where they were from. Nothing mattered except we were all in that room together. Like you had a few shows, you know, that kind of, that's what I try to do. It's about I don't really care if you disagree with different people in the room about different things. That doesn't matter when we're singing and we're all smiling and dancing. So I think stories are the only real way to do it. You can do it with DJ music. Everybody get up, But, you know, there's a great line from Tommy Tiernan. I couldn't hang me coat on that, never mind me soul. Which is great.
That's a good line. There's
a lot of coat hangers in folk music.
Interesting. Yeah. I like that. There's a place to hang your coat in folk. So from your first kind of performance to your first gig, do you remember when you gigged for the first time properly?
Yes. It was in do you remember the Intercollective? Was downstairs in the International.
I've only been an upstairs International. I've never been a downstairs. Really? Actually. Yeah, so I've been told about the days of the downstairs.
Yeah. It was wild, and then the roof caved in. That's how it. But it's open now.
Yes.
But the Circle Sessions was like my home, and that was downstairs. And I think I started that about 3 weeks after Roisin and Seamus took it. Which people don't know, they're kind of the bosses of it now. But before that, I think it was like Dave Hines or something that ran it. But they took it like 3 weeks after, like before I started. So they were kind of new to it. And then I was like, hey. And I really just nestled in there. And it became like a sense of community for me, which was beautiful. But before that, I remember doing the Intercollective, which is not a thing anymore. But the International was kind of, I remember before COVID, I was in there probably 4 nights a week.
Really?
I open mics or people doing stuff. I'd just go and sit, and I'd often wouldn't drink. I'd just sit there and listen. It became like this it was always a place you could go and you could never not run into someone you knew.
Yeah.
So I really liked that. Sense of community anyway, you know?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I really don't feel like the International gets its credit for being such a hub of like creativity and artistry that it is. I mean, for those who don't know, the International Bar is a bar on Exchequer Street that is on its 3rd generation of ownership. And it has 3 floors. So like the main bar, which is like kind of like a sitting room kind of, you know what I mean? It's small, but then upstairs there's a stage area, and downstairs there's like a mini stage area, and each of them are kind of special in their own right. And as far as I know anyway, so many people have gotten like their starts at the International, so many comedians as well.
Yeah, like Dublin's known for music, right? But I think the thing with the International is it's all original upcoming artists that go through there. Like everybody from Dublin, one way or another, filters through there. Whether it's like I did my first headline show there. I did it in the basement, and it was for my 24th birthday. I did like a 24th kind of thing.
That's cute.
It was super fun, and we raised money for a charity and stuff, and it was a really, really enjoyable night. And then obviously upstairs and the open mics, and obviously like you have like Mark Flynn and stuff in the main bar, like the sessions, and they're very different to other sessions because sometimes I find it's either a musician on a stage or the sessions kind of are can be a little bit intimidating, you know, because everyone's so good, and you're like, I don't want to, but Mark is so welcoming.
Yeah. So
you kind of show up, and if you have an instrument, he's like, come on and join in. And you could know one chord, you could clap along. He has all the shakers and stuff. Like,
cute.
It's really nice. So, yeah, I think, give it a bit of a shout out.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out the International. Shout out
the Inter.
Yup the Inter, absolutely. I always feel like not a traitor, but like I'm undercover when I'm like, yup the Inter. Do you know what I mean? I'm like something comes out, I'm like, I'm in disguise.
Well, I don't usually talk. You know what I said this at the start, I'm being strange. I think it's because I know you. So it doesn't feel like an interview. And then I'll see it on Instagram, I'm like, geez, I'm a mess. Why didn't I?
No,
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. No, it's been-
We're going on an ad break right now.
ad break.
No, we're having such a fun time. I'm just happy to spend time with you. Cheers. Sláinte.
Happy Christmas, yeah.
Here's some more for all my listeners there. So, from the international, what got into your head to be going off to the United States of America?
America. I think as the more, like, it's kind of becoming big now, but I think for a while, folk music wasn't really it here. Now you have band like the Mary Wallopers, you've got like Lancome and stuff, but it's a particular type of folk music still. You've got other people kind of bridging the gap, like Junior Brothers doing something savage.
Oh yeah,
with a certain sound. The Ocelots are another one that's like are incredibly talented, but there's still this kind of, I don't want to call it Celtic folk, but it's
kind of High Kingsy. It's kind of like what's the banjo-y kind of
yeah. So like obviously the lads like the Ocelots and stuff have only really kicked up recently. I think it's because folk is coming back. But in England, it's much bigger. Europe's kind of seen it. But I would always have thought that like folk music has its roots in America in many ways. Where a lot of my favorite folk singers, like Americana folk singers, what I mean, would be from America. So I was like, I really related to it. I think it was during COVID. I did a. Do you know what it was? I did a gig in Sinead, right? Sinead on the keys.
Yeah.
And it was called the Crystal Skull Sessions.
Ooh.
It was like this competition thing. Basically, you get a point. If you buy a point, you get a coupon, and you throw it into a jar. Whoever gets the most votes gets a trophy, whatever. And I handed out business cards for the first time ever at these. They were spelt wrong. I spelt inquiry wrong on them.
That's a hard one. Is it an E or an I? Nobody knows, really.
It's a difficult one, yeah.
Nobody really knows.
And then I got them made again, right? And I wrote down email. Instead of email for inquiries, I said email any questions, but I put I forgot to put a gap between any and questions. So I had 2 chances and I fucked it up both times. I'm not meant to really be doing this professional shit.
Yeah, but it's memorable.
That's what my mum said, yeah. But I did the gig, and one of the booker came up and was like, "Oh, someone put your card back in the tip jar."
The thing, all right.
And I was like, cool, whatever. And I looked on the back of it, and it said Red Ants Pants MT USA. I didn't know what it was, so I went home and Googled it. It's a festival in like rural Montana. I still to this day do not know who gave it to me, but someone put it in, and before COVID, I reached out to the festival and was like, hey, and they're like a big festival, like Tyler Childers plays it, like the Wife Buffaloes played it, Patty Griffin. It's like a pretty big one in Montana. And I reached out and I was like, yo, I'm like, I told them the story and they were like, that's awesome. I was like, we have a side stage if you want to play it. I was like, hell yeah. So I had this whole plan where I'd go over for about 3 weeks with my mum, my dad and stuff, and we'd go over, we'd do the festival, and then we'd sightsee and go back home. COVID happened and I hadn't really booked anything. It was just an idea. And they kind of had me in, but they were like, oh, with COVID, you can't come over, whatever. I met a guy in Maine, which is like on the opposite side of America. And we did a couple of online sessions together. And he was like, if you come, I want to book you for a gig. So he booked me for a gig that were a month apart. And then also during COVID, I started a collective called the Old Soul Collective. And I just crossed paths with a few people. And there was a guy called Isaac Elliott who somehow found one of my songs and wrote a song in response to my song. And then I wrote a song in response to the song he wrote. And we became good mates. He joined the collective and he's like a US veteran. And he just lives in like the mountains in Oklahoma and just makes music. And I reached out and was like, what are you doing in the summer? Like when COVID ended, like, he was like, nothing. I was like, do you want to live in a car with me for 3 months? He said, yeah, sure. So I booked the whole tour and I went over and we lived in a car across the US. I think we did like 21 states in 3 months. It was like bonkers.
21 states
Yeah.
in 3 months. Jesus Christ.
We just slept in Walmart.
You're just driving, like, you know what I mean? Not even stopping.
And just driving. We seen a couple of things, you know. Walmart's mainly. That was mainly the tourist attraction. But when I decided to do that, I think I did for me, I really wanted to go over there, and I went to I'm not out in them, but do you know First Contacts Ireland?
I don't think so.
Like a music organisation. They do all these talks. They're great. Brilliant.
Yeah.
They run Irish Music Week.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Okay, yes.
So they do all these talks, and I went to one of them. And it was about building a fan base. And I asked the question, I was like, what if your fan base isn't here? What if it's like abroad, you know? And she was like, well, what? And I was like, well, I'm getting a lot of listeners in America, and I'm kind of looking at doing like an independent tour over there and whatever. And they shut me down like immediately. They were like, that's a really bad idea. You have to build your fan base up here, and then you go to England, and you have to find them, and then Europe, and then when you have a big fan base there, you go to the US. And I get it, but I was also like, no, I'm not really vibing with that. So I just did the complete opposite. I just to prove a point to myself almost.
Yeah.
We did that, and it was so fun. I went back, and it's just been a blast. Like, it's really changed the way I am, changed the way I see the world, changed how I write, changed how I like play. I learned so much, met so many incredible people, and like I'm really blessed that like I get to do that. Do you know what I mean? Like and it's just it's this Pandora box that just keeps opening. It's all great, you know what I mean? And everything's a story, as I said, you know what I mean? Every story is important. So if I can meet wacky people or just have a wacky experience, something's going to come out of it that's worth it. So I just kind of ride that wave of thought, you know?
That's really beautiful. Oh, I love it. Do you have like a favorite memory from the tour?
Do I have a favorite memory from the tour?
Or like a favorite story or something that happened to you?
I think the generosity of people is lovely. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I know. I think you've told me this one, but yeah, please go ahead.
I think like we were living in a camp. We had barely any money. You know, there was a point where I think we got to New Hampshire at one point, and we didn't have enough money, and Isaac was waiting to get paid. So we just parked the car in a car park because we just didn't have enough money for fuel. So we were like, wait a couple of days, get some money, and we keep going. So we settled up, and the amount of people that once they hear what you're doing, there's a lot of like admiration to it. You know what I mean? And like people have housed us after gigs, people have fed us, watered us. You know, I think the big one for me that made me cry was I was in Boston for 2 weeks and New York for 2 weeks, and Isaac had left at this point, and it was really hard because I met this person online. We lived in a car together, and then he was gone. I was like, I felt like we never had a friend like that. You know what I mean? Like you really get to know someone like that when you're forced to
live in a car with them. Yes.
And if you don't like each other, that you're kind of snookered. Do you know what I mean? But I couldn't have travelled with a better guy. So I was in the hostel, and this guy comes in, and he was from out of state, and he was a guest lecturer in the big college in Boston.
Boston College.
Is it? Yeah, that one.
I would assume.
I don't know if
is it
it's one of them fancy ones.
MIT? Is that Massachusetts? Is
Yeah.
that in Boston?
Do you know what it is? I think it's MIT, yeah. Massachusetts Institute of... It's one of the big ones.
One of the big ones.
Big campus or whatever. And I was talking to him, and he was asking me what I was doing. And I told him, and he was like, that's great. He goes, I play music. He goes, I haven't like committed myself like that, and I do this other thing. But he's like, it's a lot of respect, because I was like, yeah, like I don't like, you know, I'm not Bono, I'm not loaded, but like I'm happy, and I'm making sure I'm getting by, which at the end of the day, that's all you can really do, you know. So I was doing that, and he was like in awe of it, And then we were chatting for ages. We had breakfast, and then what was it? I was heading off, and he was like, "Oh, I'm packing up and leaving." I was like, "Cool." So I went out, and I come back. I'm sitting in the room, and I take my shoes off and go to put my Crocs on. I feel something in the Croc. I'm like, what the hell? So I take it out, pick up the Croc, and I pull out a card, and it says, it said something along the line. I have it at home. Something along the lines of, if you don't chase your dreams, they're just gonna run away. And he left $100 in my Croc, and he didn't leave his name.
Oh.
Didn't leave anything. It wasn't like a whole, like, I'm helping you out. Like and that meant a lot to me because, like, as I said at the start, it's all of this. The reason we're here is to connect with each other. It's not about anything else. It's not about making tons of money. It's not about, putting up your fancy picture on it. It's none of that shit. It's about connecting with one another. And when stuff like that happens, where someone's like, keep going, keep doing what you're doing, and don't let people stop you. I'm like, I won't. I'm going to keep doing it, as mad as I may be.
No, Kenan, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Don't be laughing. No, this is beautiful.
Okay.
I'm almost I'm moved. Like, I'm really
Yeah.
I love that, like...
I have to laugh because I went really quiet. And Kenan
but I didn't know.
quiet.
I was like, I'm hanging on your words. I don't know if there's more coming out. Don't want to interrupt you. But, like, that's amazing. Especially the fact that, like, he obviously didn't want to embarrass you or make you into, like, a charity case or something. Like, or didn't want to take, like, the...
Kind of was a charity case, though. That's
regardless, do you know what I mean? But like he didn't want to make you feel embarrassed and just did that for you. Imagine if you had thrown your Crocs out though. Imagine you're like, oh, don't want these anymore. Boom.
Yeah. Imagine if I gave someone me Crocs.
Just stop. Anyway, I've just been informed we have 5 minutes left, and I think I have a million things. But I think the important thing to talk about right now is your show, which when this comes out, will be in like 3, 4, 5 days on the 22nd of December.
22nd of December.
How are you feeling?
I'm pumped. Yeah, I'm super excited. Do you want me to talk about it?
Yeah, please.
Hell yeah. It's in Whelan's, in a little room called Little Whelan's, but you'll find if you go to Whelan's. Whelan's, Dublin, Wexford Street.
Yeah.
22nd December. Doors are 7:30. There should be tickets. Well, we hope that they're all sold out. But
in the very small case that it isn't,
you can get them online or at the door, but they're cheaper online. So it's called 50 Shades of Country and Folk, and it's a good night for troubadours, trailblazers, and cowpokes alike. Me and I would kind of identify more as like folk, Irish, Americana kind of thing. A lot of storytelling, as I said. We have the great Walker Tex with his. Good lad. Now. Good firm lad now. And he has a guitarist with him called Wilson Lyons. And they do like kind of dark, outlaw kind of country.
Yeah.
And then Copper Kelly, the clean cut cowboy himself.
Slick.
From Wexford.
Good man.
He's a good man indeed.
He's a good man.
But he is really inspired by like Johnny Cash, Wailing Jennings, and he's got a country thing going on that just is one in a million. So it's gonna be a while. We did it before. The live album I have out on Spotify is from that night. And if you remember it, and you it was just one of these things that it was like.
Was it the one we went to? You recorded?
Yeah.
Oh, gas. Okay.
So I think we aimed for 20 people. That was the goal, and there was 50 tickets. We ended up getting 60 people in the room.
Yeah, it was jammers.
It was jam, and it was everyone was there. Everyone was together. And if you want to get an idea of it, you check out the live album on Spotify. But it was incredible. And it's something that I think if you can make it, you're going to not regret it. I think there's a wildness, there's a chaoticness, but there is a togetherness really in it.
Yeah.
Everybody. Because me and Walker and Wilson and Copper, we're just mates. That's it. It's not like a biz. It's not like my manager is it's just a bunch of mates that went, let's do a show together and let's have some fucking fun. And I'm so excited. Christmas special, there's going to be gifts. Had it? Santa might appear.
No way.
Yeah.
What a get.
He called me. He said, look, lad, I know it's close to Christmas, but...
Get me on the lineup. Let me be your opener.
Santa Claus, well, I'm not going to say you want to be there, like, because you never know, but
never know. Busy
you
man.
just have to be there and find out. You know what I mean? So, would you want to miss Santa?
I wouldn't miss you, let alone Santa. So get your tickets if they are still available. It is an incredible time. I remember when T and I went last time. T wore his cowboy hat and he felt real happy about it. There's not very many opportunities you get to wear your cowboy hat. Do you know what I mean? I
spot him in every picture because he's the only one besides Copper that's wearing the cowboy hat.
Ned Dunn had a cowboy hat though?
No,
sure
Ned Dunn. It was Copper Kelly had it, and that's why because I was telling Copper about doing this, and he was like. He's like trying to put his finger on who he's wearing. And I go, tell me your man with the cat. And he goes, yeah, I remember hearing that.
Good to know we made an impression.
Yeah, you sure did.
Brilliant. Well, get your tickets while you have time. This has been such a lovely chat, Kenan. Where we're coming to the end of not only the episode, but the season. And I don't think I actually put that in my head until we just did it. This will be the 9th episode. And so we'll have done 9 episodes this season. We started late in the day, but I'm really proud of it. Yeah. There's some really nice interviews. They'll be out by now, so we'll have some. We've had some really great interviews. So, for those who want a little bit more festive cheer, Kenan will be over on Patreon in a couple of minutes, treating us all to some tunes. But for those who kind of are finishing the journey with us this year, I want to say to you a very Merry Christmas. I hope you get everything you wished for. And I really, really hope that your 2025 is everything that you want it to be. Okay. So from myself and from my good friend Kenan, Sláinte, Ihoa, agus Nolig Honna Ditch.
Nolig Honna Ditch.
Cheers.
Sleigh bells ring.
Are you listening?